Folks, we got a cute and different collection today. It's called Bone China Lace in the Victorian flavor. I know some of you have this still on your dresser right here on my take on Home and Garden. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Now, here's a cutie cute collection we haven't shown yet. We've got porcelain lace in the Victorian style. Now, you're saying, some of you, what is that? Well, I'm going to start off with our only 3 Bavarian pieces that we have, okay? So, here's the first one. How cute can you get? Angela inherited my mother's collection of these, and the vast amount of things the woman had. 4 kids got given things equally, but there was so much to go around. Grandkids got some, and wives got some. Anyway, we add to every collection she ever gave us. We've always added to every collection. So, 22 karat gold touches and highlights in the fine porcelain. Okay, then we have this little, some of you will recognize this. This is labeled and numbered, and you know, the bigger pieces go for a ton. They're just cute as can be in that style. Now, I'm dating these around the 40s and 50s, and then we have some that are a little later and some a little earlier, and we'll go over that too. Here's the only coaching piece from Bavaria. We have a few different sizes. This is too cute. And this particular coach is closed, totally closed in. 2 horses, and they have a different stance in the blue and white. It's really desirable. So imagine firing this without losing a thing. Alrighty. The next category I got for you, if you watched our Oriental video, I touched on what is known as occupied Japan. Items that were made during the U.S. occupation of Japan right after World War II, which is 1946. So these 5 pieces would have been made 46 through the occupied time. Look at this. Look how cute. So if you'll see stamped on the bottom, made in occupied Japan. These pieces will bring a little more money than just Japan. Okay, just to remind you of those. He's a young man watching them dance at the ball, wondering what all the fuss is about. Now here's a pair, a little more archaic, and that I mean not as detailed in the painting. It's rather quickly done, and this piece would be cranked out just as fast as it could to sell to a, you know, more affordable crowd. Alrighty, and we'll have the close-ups, of course. Here's a girl in the dress. We're getting more detailed here. You see, there's more time. Same dates on these. The late 40s. A little more detail, and the faces get prettier too. there's our occupied Japan group. Here's a woman in the frilly lace. Now what happens, of course, that these, even if you look at them with a mean face, the lace is so tiny and brittle it falls off, let alone crash bang or hitting it. So some of the lace is missing. It would make this, you know, worth less. But they're still showy and awfully cute. This is well done. And the lace is incredible. How they even got it to stay and not break. It's actually perforated. It's incredible that they could even apply this around the neck and sleeves and dress. This one has quite a little bit missing, but still cute as can be. And again, more detail in the dress and hat and so on. Here is a partner, if you will, and you can see the base is the same with these two. So they would be cousins or made in the same year easily. He's got some unique lace sleeves, and there's been some broken off of him as well. But his little tiny fingers are still intact. It's still collectible, and it would go for less money now. Things in this condition, you're looking at $10 to $15, and if it was perfect, it could be twice that to $30. Maybe a bit more because of the occupied. Here is a big bunch coming up, made in Japan. Now look at the hairdo. The guy is, we're having a little trouble here depicting the men and versus the women, except for he has trousers. The hairdo looks like they went to the same beauty shop, but it's slightly archaic and would have been more affordable to somebody when this came out, probably in the 50s. Okay, so I like putting these two together because he has his hand out. This is still Japan now, and we'll finish through with Japan had the market on these, let me tell you. He has his hand out asking for a dance and kind of a tip and a nod of the head, you see. She's trying to be proper, but she does have her hand out in an accepting way. They almost match up. So we usually put these together too, like this. Next, here's a lady playing the mandolin, and she's got quite a hairdo and that beehive and a bustle. Look at that dress. A lot of detail. And you girls know the name of this with those little pinhead attachments on the material. Makes it cute as heck and special. This guy, he has a foil label and it's half missing. But he's in a Victorian style cushion back chair. Look how cool and different. He has a mandolin, and the ruffles on his sleeves are pretty much intact, really good. Paper thin. It's amazing they can fire this and not lose it. And with the half a label gone, I believe this says Wales. Now, I don't think that means it was made in Wales, because I still think it's just a brand of Japan. Some of this was real hard to look up and real vague too. Here's a cute pair. Now you're gonna laugh because either this is a brother and sister or the boy is as pretty and feminine as the girl. Okay, let's hope they're brother and sister. But in that Victorian dress, it was a little more difficult to sort them out, but that's too cute. It's just as cute as can be. They both have a hat, but see, he has the feather, she has a bow. Look at the face. Too good. So we get a kick out of some of that. Here's a guy. He's either outside or he's just sitting on a stool playing his flute. Okay, he's got a heck of a hairdo too. Of course, they all did. They had them long back then, back in the powdered wig days, I guess. And imagine firing this piece with that skinny little porcelain flute and not breaking or losing a finger. His fingers are up and intact, and they're like the size of a pin. Now, here's a smaller, possibly lesser piece, you know, less expensive. The coach door is open and the coach is hollow. This is a new step from the last one. It's slightly archaic. I love how and so the horses aren't the same. They have one with his head cocked back, which is probably just the craftsman, you know, while it's soft, just pulls it back a little and pushes the leg where he wants it before they fire it again. Still cute. And it just, you know what's good about these? We probably wouldn't seek to start a collection of these, but I'm telling you, when you see them together on a shelf, they're just cute as heck. They're cute as can be. Now here's, moving up, open coach. Now we have 4 horses, and again, they've tried to, you know, make them look like they're at least contrapposto, you know, like the Greeks did with their statues, showing movement. So, too cute. Not a ton of time spent on the paint job. Again, this would be a lesser, yet in the day probably expensive to own this piece when they first came out. Money was different, you know, back then. This I like leaving last because it's my favorite one. I want to say it's Bavarian, but I can't prove it, and I'm not sure, and the lace looks like both kinds, but it's Mr. and Mrs. or boyfriend and girlfriend playing a board game, and it is with the 22 karat gilded highlights. His shoes are extra special. Okay. Really digging those. Her dress goes all the way to the floor, prim and proper, and his coat, his dinner jacket, almost touches the floor as well. Love the chairs. Just the setting is, this whole thing is, puts a smile on my face. Obviously, right? It's not hard to see. Really precious. A lot of detail, more detail and better paint job. Now, can you believe it? We're on the last one. I knew this would move along, although there's quite a few. You know, there's a good bunch. This is incredible. And because of the way the base is divided and sectioned for strength, I think it's made in Japan. I can't find a marking. Okay. It's obviously a four-horse drawn coach with two coachmen. Okay, that's what's special. One on the back. Now, there's a torch on top of the coach for night driving. And the best part of this being an open coach, and the mademoiselle is inside the coach. How in the world do they do all that and get this fired? You know, they gotta fire them green and then glaze them and fire them again 2 or 3 times without losing a horse tail, a hoof, an ear. The flame is clipped off when we bought this, or a spoke in the wagon wheel. Now let me tell you, this has several problems, and that's why we own it, because it was real reasonable. It was like $24. If this was perfect, it'd probably be $4.24, honestly. So the detail's incredible, even with its repairs and problems. It's cute as heck on the shelf, guys, with the other stuff. So I'm telling you, what's fun today is some of these collectibles that are just disregarded by the general public. You know, they're not interested in them, they're over them, they're done, you know, they don't do it for them. It's not like collecting Star Trek models and figurines, obviously. But what it does is it keeps the price down. It keeps the price down for collectors that care, that want to save it for future generations and just have it for fun. So it's something reasonable that you can collect and get into. I know you probably enjoyed our crazy mid-century Victorian style fine porcelain lace pieces. And if you did, give us a like, a share, a comment, a thumbs up, a powdered wig. Some fresh picked plums, you know, just anything that goes along with this era. A dance in the ballroom. Maybe the building that goes around the ballroom. I'll decorate it. Take care, folks. And we'll see you in the next over-the-top, informative collector video. You know I can't keep a straight face. Angela always says, why do you, every time at the end you got that grin?